We'll start with the new project today. We had not used any input output statements before, so we will start with that. Output we did, input we haven't. Okay, so the package I'm going to give com dot um, later on we'll deal with the operators also, that's fine. For now, I'm going to make it as input data. Okay, so imagine I have taken two variables, int a comma b, and probably I'll take one more variable called as sum. Now I need to take input A and B from the user. So I need to make use of some input statement. In C++, you have something called a cin. In Python, there is input. In C programming, there is something called a scanf. In this case, what we are going to do, we'll take one scanner object. And this will be with respect to system.in as the parameter for the constructor. If you hover on this, it will ask you or prompt you to import the scanner from java.util. From this package, you're going to take an object called as ob, which is nothing but object of the class scanner, which is already existing in java.util package, which is inbuilt. Now, how do I take the input? We know that output statement, what has to appear onto the screen is system.out.println. Here we are going to just say enter the value of a. Okay. The next one, we are going to give it here as a is equal to ob dot next int. That means we are going to take the input from the user. Okay, this is how you take the input. Now, if I'm going to take the second value, that is value of b, we'll ask the user to enter the input and then b value will be taken. Sum, I'm just going to make a plus b because both are integers, right? So we can store the value of the integer in sum. Sum is also an integer, by the way. So I want to print the output, that is the value of the sum value after calculating the addition of two numbers. I want to print it. So what I'll do, I'll come here and first write a string called a sum is equal to concatenate plus operator, and then use the variable that you want to print. So once this is done, we'll give 22, 33, and then the value of 22 plus 33 is 55. Now if you notice, I have given println. Instead of giving println, if I keep it as print, then the cursor will remain here itself instead of coming down. Println means it will go down, right? After completion of the entire statement, it will go down. But here, I'll just keep it as print. So now if you run this, you're going to get 11, 22. It's not going to come down. It is just there. Okay. Cursor is still there. After this, you're hitting enter. So you're going to come down. Okay. This is one part of it. Now, if I want to talk about the operators here, like we have additional operator, we have subtraction if you use minus, we have a star for multiplying, divide, modulus for divide, we use slash. So if you want to do all those, here I can just give difference, product, quotient, remainder. Okay, And how do you do that? Difference will be equal to A minus B. Product will be A into B. These are all arithmetic operators. Quotient will be A divided by B. The remainder, usually we use the percentage symbol, A percentage B. That means 10 mod 2. If I divide 10 by 2, remainder is 0. Quotient is 5, but remainder is 0. If I give 9 mod 2, then the remainder is 1. If you want to print the same way, just extend this one here. So this will be difference. This will be product. You should also mention here difference, product, whatever you have given the variable name here, the same thing should go down this remainder. Okay, and then run this once. I'm going to give it as 10 2. So since I've given print statement here, if you notice everything is in a single line. Okay, just so that I can put it in a new line, I can just make this as print ln. I take 11 and 2. Now if you notice, the quotient should have been 5.5 because 11 and 2. We're getting only 5 because whenever an integer is divided by integer, even though you have a decimal value, decimal part will be neglected. So it is 5.5. 0.5 is neglected. Since your quotient is also what? An integer. What if I remove the quotient from here and keep quotient as float? Okay. Now we'll run this. 11 2. Now it is giving you as 5.0. Even though we have taken this as quotient, as float, still the value is not 5.5. It is still 5. That is because A and B both are integers. If an integer is divided by an integer, whatever you get will be the integer portion of it. Unless and until this A and B is also float, we will not be able to write it here. What if I convert this to be float? I typecast it integer to float. So this also I'll typecast it to float. We'll run this now. Now you're getting 5.5. So whatever you're dividing, right, those variables has to be converted to float so that you get the floating point value. Now there are some things called as logical operators, and we have something called as relationship operator and so on, that will be majorly considered when we are doing our conditional statement. We'll come to that in the next part.